Yes, I can. Jingles.
This better not be live.
Oh, wow. What are the jingles?
You sing. They don't even know you sing.
See, no wonder why women are so fast, because we're always on time. We get everything done. We're prepared. You know what? I just admire women. You know, I'm
Check
telling you,
one.
they're just too good for the world.
They turned down the mic. Oh gosh, I'm getting grey, man. Ooh. Oh, sorry.
I have
This
grace.
is live.
No, but this camera really makes you look like, oh, my God. I gotta get the mask, innit? Yeah, I gotta get a mask to hide all the grey. That's why they're glad everybody's wearing masks. You can't see the old man then. All right. We're ready-ish. All right. Right. I'm gonna go live now, yeah?
Okay.
Right. Jasmine, I can hear your heart beating from here. Can you please relax there? You can relax.
I'm trying.
And I can hear your heart beating from here. It's going boom, boom, boom. It's all right. Relax.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Have I started already? Check one.
Freaking.
Oh,
I'm still eating now.
Leon, can you see if I'm on YouTube, please? Oh, you check your computer. See if you can get me on YouTube. Your one. Right. I think we're live. Hopefully, I think we're live. Leon's gonna go and check for me. Right, T.O. What's the studio phone? I think we're live. Hopefully. Let one of the engineers check. What's the time? Oh, we're nice. All right. You eating peanuts?
If you want some.
Nah, man, they're not good for your love life, man. Yeah, for real. Right, that's it. Right, my phone. Right, here you are. Good evening. I hope we're live. It looks like we're live.
Feels like we're live.
We are live-ish. Look, there she is, eating peanuts in the background. She's famous. This is Sister Itricia in the background. There, eating peanuts. Right. I hope we're live. I really hope we're live.
Check one. Check it on.
What?
Go on the website.
Yes, we're live. We're live. Did I make you jump?
No.
Oh, good. Right. Welcome, people. Sorry for the long thing. We're live. I didn't know we was live, but I had to be sure we was live because, I don't want to be saying all these things and we're not live. You understand? So you can see me, I can see you. Welcome, everybody. You're listening to Bless Radio alongside UNITYIFY. Yeah, and out all the YouTube crew. You're supposed to get this later on. You know what I mean? So it's not a big thing. Today, may you do the introduction, my dear UNITYIFY.
Yes, thank you for tuning in and welcome to Bless Radio with UNITYIFY. Studio number is 07944431366. We have a very special guest coming on today and her name is Jasmine Willams, all the way from America. She's actually going to talk about domestic violence, how she survived and how she's come out of domestic violence and the racism she faces in America. And then before we bring our guest in, once again, please tune in. And the studio line number is 07944431366. You can call in or text. Yes, Bless.
That's not the number.
What have you got? Which one are you doing?
The 505.
Okay, then you can say that one. 551 for you.
Yeah, because Jasmine's on this number now. Right.
Okay.
Right. So today we are having a little talk, and
Yep.
in the studio we have.
Keep in mind, she's very young.
You have Itricia, life expressionist.
Yes.
Itricia, life expressionist.
Yeah.
Greeting you all, one and all. Rising you up with the divine power that we are, and moving forward with the vision to create our future. Ashe.
That sound good.
Ah,
Yes, that sound really good. Did you rehearse that?
no?
All right, cool. Right. So today, can you give out the number for the other line, please, Unity?
I've already got the 36. I've got the 661. You've got the other number.
505.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give that out in a little while. Right, we're going to give that number out later on. Right, today we have in the studio, all the way from
Jasmine Williams.
USA, the wonderful Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine. How are you doing?
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
How are you?
Oh, you sound nice.
Yes, I'm welcome.
You need to turn your microphone
Thank
up, Unity. Unity, you need to turn your microphone up a little bit, yeah? No. You need to turn your microphone up a little bit. Right, not off. How do I say that in English? I tell her to turn her mic up.
Yeah, go on. Can you hear
Right,
it?
good. Right,
Raise the volume.
right, raise the volume. That's the word. Right, so today we're going to talk about. Today we're going to have somebody else to run the show. Jasmine is going to be taking control of the show today. It is her show.
That's right.
So Jasmine, today you are going to talk about.
Oh, today I'm talking about my life and the racism that I've faced and the domestic violence that I've come through and come out of, and being a survivor.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself. If you want to talk, are you just open to talk about yourself in general? You don't want to. You're not worried about talking. You're cool.
No, you can ask me anything. I'm an open book.
All right, good. Right,
Okay.
tell us about yourself first and what you think we should know. Your background, what you do.
Okay. First, my name is Jasmine. I'm 28. Originally, my name was Heather, and I had it changed through my adoption. I was also, well, I'm grown now, but I was adopted when I was younger because of racism. And
Racism made you change your name.
yes, it didn't make me change my name. I changed my name because of, well, it's a long story. So
Yeah. Leave that. Yeah.
I'm biracial. My mother is white, my father is black, and my mother, she wasn't really accepted by her family because of her choice to have me and my sister. So growing up, she was she kind of strayed away, and we weren't raised by her. We were raised by my great grandmother because she was out on drugs and prostitution, and my father was her pimp. We went into the system, and I got picked at a lot for having, well, I guess when I was growing up they called it a white name. So it caused me to want to change my name.
Yeah.
And so I picked Jasmine from Aladdin because that was my favorite cartoon growing up.
Yeah.
That's how I got my name.
Okay. So Unity, would you like to start the show, because last week you worked really hard. You was tremendous last week. You said so much that I think I should let you start again this week.
Because you're speechless, that's what it is.
No, because I'm just going to go straight into the thing. But because of how I'm feeling her, I think you should just start
From the
talking to her.
part where you think, let's talk about racism first, and then we'll jump onto domestic violence, and you can follow us your way through there. So what happened to you? Obviously, you just said it now, that you're from a mixed family, and you felt that you basically, did you feel that you're not wanted by your own community and also by the community that your mother comes from, because you have two different sets of parents there with different backgrounds? And is that so what was what hit you the most? Was it your mum's side or your father's side that made you?
My father's side, they were kind of just, they weren't really present. I didn't feel a lot of racism from my father's side. Most of the racism that I felt from the African American community was through my adopted parents. Growing up, it was mostly from the white side. They didn't want me and my sister to live with my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother is the one who raised us, and she kind of just, she didn't care. She loved us from the moment that we were born, and when she got older, she got, a little down in her health. And her daughters, they would call the system, and they would say, hey, I need y'all to come get them. She's not able, she's not fit. And so we went to live with part of my dad's family when we were, I think, I was 6 years old. We went to Texas for me and my sister went to Texas for a year. And we stayed with the aunt. But while we were there, my sister was molested. And so we ended up coming back to Georgia. And that's when we went into the foster care system. She was older than me, so she kind of started running away from home. She ended up going to the group home system. And I went into the foster care system, and I went through 6 foster homes before I got adopted. But after I got adopted, it was how do I explain it? I didn't really know that black people could be racist until I experienced it for myself, and having, just to have always felt split and not really identified. I wouldn't say racist. I guess I'd say prejudice. It's just, and it was granted because of so much, history and everything that's there. But with me already not being accepted from one color and then coming into another, and I'm constantly, tormented and bashed because somebody feels like I feel that I have, an entitlement, or I feel that I have that I'm better than them because I'm a little lighter, and I've never felt that way. I've always had to try harder on each end. I've struggled. When I was in school, I got picked at, like I said, about my name, and so I wanted to change it. I wanted to be. I thought it would make me more black. I don't know. But I actually picked a name that was so common within the black community. I wish I had been more creative.
But you don't. I'm telling you something. You don't look mixed at all.
I don't.
You don't.
It's probably because I pressed my hair.
Yeah, but you still don't look mixed. You don't. You don't. If you never said anything, I wouldn't have known. I don't think you're black.
Okay.
That's how I'm looking at you, saying you're mixed. You don't look mixed.
Because black doesn't mean black doesn't mean dark. Dark doesn't.
Unity, your microphone's low.
The colours of the range.
Can't hear you.
Of black beauty.
Yeah, no, it's like this last week.
We have my skin, we're all.
That's why I like
there.
to run it from my
I think it's the community that needs to accept the fact. If she's from
There's
a
a lot of insecurities within the black community. They compete a lot. Lighter skin, darker skin, and I've always just been caught in the middle of that. I don't think it makes me any better. I've always tried to tan more. I've always wanted to be darker because of the way, I was treated. I've never, tried to take advantage of it or tried to. I've grown, I'm better now, but growing up, I had a stigma, or I guess, a bit of a hatred towards white people because of the way I was treated, the way I felt like they felt about me. And it's still difficult, when you go around a group and you're the only black person in the room. And even though my mom's white, even when I'm with my mom, they look at us funny. So it's like, I don't know, it's always going to be something that I carry with me, but God has grown me, and it doesn't.
So, what was it like? How did you feel with the racism against I was going to say against your own people, because I keep on seeing you as black, right? So I'm going to just drop it like that.
Right.
How did you feel how did the racism against your own people? How did you feel? How did you deal with it? How did you feel?
I've always just really wanted to be accepted. So I was raised, I changed the way that I spoke. I changed a lot of things about me, to try to fit in more. And I shouldn't have had to, because I identify as black. I mean, that's who I am. If I tell you I'm biracial, it's just because of informational purposes, but
yeah, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known. Really and truly, that's my honest opinion. If you identify yourself as black anyway, as far as I'm concerned, so if you don't tell no one, I don't think they're gonna know, because I'm gonna be real, half of the black girl is wearing hair like you anyway. Yeah. So I wouldn't know if you didn't say anything. So if I'm telling you that, you know what I mean, unless you had a tan or something.
So you're saying, Jack? So you're saying that the reason, obviously, for you to change your name was to fit in with the groups that you were hanging around with, which was the black community.
Well, I ended up going to an all-black school, and so that's when it really woke up to me. Because when I was growing up, I want to say, I don't remember it, but they told me I was white, that I thought I was white when I was like 1 through 3, and I don't remember that at all. I remember my bus driver saying I said something offensive to him, and I was like, oh my God. When? Why would I don't know, but it was like a wake up call, and so I got picked at a lot. White girl, a lot, and I hated it. I hated the stigma that came with it, and I don't know. I guess down here in America, Heather is a white name, so it was, I guess, it worse. I just didn't want it. I was like. And then my mama, she wasn't there, so I was like, I mean, it wasn't like any pressure on me to keep the name. So when I got adopted and they told me I could change it, I was like, please just change it. Change my first.
So is that the racism you're talking about? Obviously, it's an identity, isn't it? You're trying to find yourself and trying to fit in. So that is a very different spec of racism. Obviously, now the racism we talk about is quite clearly,
right.
Black, white, Asian, and we've got that kind of racism coming on. So did you ever get that kind of racial racism, that you have to face that kind of racism in workplace or outside?
From white people, I do.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. They treat me like who I am. It's the looks, it's the half smiles, it's the the sense of better than. We get that a lot. Wow. That's never. I'm not gonna say it's never gonna change, but it never gets old. It's something.
I don't understand. I don't understand how black people can be racist to somebody who what we say is mixed or half black. Yeah. Once you're black, you're black. Even if you're half black, you're just black. That's how I see it. Yeah. You can't go to the clan and say to them that you're white.
The term is insecurity. Yeah.
It's a heavy insecurity. I always get compared. They I guess the main term is house nigga. Like that's what they say. Anybody who's like really light skinned or really fair skinned, they say that. You would have been in the house. You would have known what it was like. And I was like, none of us know what slavery is like. The generation that I'm in, And then I like tell them, even if I was, or even if I had been in the house, I would have been getting raped. Like it wasn't hard for anybody of color.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, that's
and so it's,
they're not looking at the bigger picture. And what you're saying is making sense. So, is it worse being in the house? It might be worse being in the house than on the field, because in the house you can't go nowhere, and you know what I mean. Some of them people who live in the house always end up having children by the master anyway. So you got your point. But I want to go to talk a little bit about abuse. Have you encountered any abuse in your past?
Growing up, yeah. It started when I got adopted. My family was really old school tradition.
Yeah.
And the hand was very heavy. Growing up, after I got adopted when I was like, I think 9 going on 10.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I guess I wasn't the most disciplined child. I used to talk a lot. I had a lot of my own issues stemming from a lot of the stuff that I went through, and so I guess what they thought was the best way was to have a heavy hand. Ooh. And then a lot of stuff about me I didn't know. I had my adopted parents to inform these things to me at such a young age, and so it was, I would say, mentally abused, verbally abused, and physically. And so that caused me to accept a lot. It caused me to believe a lot about myself. And so when I got older and I started to, date and become, be in relationships and trying to search for love, it caused me to be really weak-minded.
So carry on. No, because I'm listening to your story. What I'm going to do, I'm going to let you talk a little bit more, yeah? And then I'm going to ask you some questions a little bit, because I just want the listeners to understand what you're going through. And those who are listening to the show, this show is not like, we're not interrogating her. We just want everyone to know that there's a lot of trauma that women are carrying, and it's eating them up. After a while, they need to let it out some way or somehow. And this platform is there for that. So those who are listening, the ladies are listening, and the men that are listening, can men also go through abuse as well. This platform is for you to have a chance to talk to someone and to at least know that you got it out of your system and that you're not alone. That's what this show is about, to let you know that we're rounding up the armies of the ladies that's being abused so that they can stand strong. Right. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Wow. And so you can empower someone.
Yeah, we're gonna ask the Most High to empower you and give you strength. And a lot of people that's been through terrible things like yourself, they normally get used by God or the Creator in the later part of their life. Yeah, and there's not, most of the people in the Bible has went through some traumatic thing before God used them. You understand?
Right.
So don't look at your past as a negative thing. You can look at your past as a learning curve, because now you are qualified to teach the younger ones that's coming up, the younger sisters that's coming up. You have the qualifications, NVQ scholarship, master degree, in helping them so that they can deal with the situation, because some people
and
take their lives.
And yourself, Jasmine, because this is a learning process for you, my darling. What you're going to do, you're going to observe and you're going to find your journey now. You've come out of it. Now you're going to find yourself, and it will just happen.
Yes,
honestly, trust me. Yeah, because coming out of this.
You need to turn your mic up, Unity. Unity.
All right, sorry.
You need to turn your microphone really up, loud, full. Your microphone itself.
Right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but you got to go into your settings and turn the microphone itself up. That's all it is. Or get near, or go closer. Come close like me. Come close to me.
Okay.
Come closer.
What I'm saying is that actually coming out of this situation, Jasmine, I want you to understand, it's very easily said than done. There are women who are still in the situation and they are scared to come out.
I know what it is.
I know so many ladies, grown-up women, and they're not coming out of it because they are so happy. Not happy. They're in a position where the comfort zone is scaring them to come out.
And they think they deserve it.
Yeah, they don't want to come out. They're thinking, if I come out, what's going to happen? Where do I do? Where can I go? So you know what? I'll stay here, take this little abuse, and I'll just stay here, which is wrong. You know, which is wrong, especially if it's life-threatening. So I want you to understand that what you've done, come out at a very young age, that in itself needs to be credible. Honest to God, it really is.
May I ask, how old are you? How old are you,
I'm
Jack?
28.
Oh, you're young.
28.
Well, you're young. So, with the abuse, I like to talk a little bit about the abuse. I'm not like it, but a lot of the listeners and a lot of the ladies. Huh? There's a lot of the ladies. Yeah, the ladies that was been through what you've been through. You know what I mean? It's like, how did you get out of it? How did you get out of that situation mentally? What did you do to suppress the trauma that you went through in the past?
It took a lot. I was in love, and I guess I don't know. I always made excuses. Okay, so first, my first domestic situation was right after high school, right after I left, and I fell in love. I ended up with a guy who is my son's father. He and I mean, in the beginning, it didn't start like that. In the beginning, it was all rainbows and sunshine. But he developed a drug addiction. He started being on cocaine, and it changed him mentally. He had been through a lot as well, and I guess we connected because of the things that we had been through, and I wanted to feel like I was there for him. I wanted to be that person that would never give up. I convinced myself that I loved him more than, I did. At the time, I loved him more than I loved myself. And so I allowed a lot. And I guess because I had a history of taking so much and being so, beat down and what's the word? Insecure.
Basically, what you're saying, you were so used to what you've been through that you thought this was normal as well.
Right. It didn't seem out of the norm for me. It seemed like that's what comes along with somebody who's going through something. And if you love them, you're just supposed to, stick through, and then they'll eventually see that they're wrong, or they'll eventually get better. And so I missed all the signs. From somebody just, talking to you. I mean, I was made to get on all fours and bark like a dog just so I could leave out the room. I've gotten to altercations in front of my children where they were kicked. At the time it was just my daughter and me. I was introduced to cocaine. I tried it for like 2 months, trying to just, it's nothing I really wanted to do. It was just something that I did because I wanted him to feel like, he wasn't alone, that I wasn't judging him. And I was trying to numb the pain as well. So it was like, why not? So, but God has always been in my ear. He's always been on my shoulder. And that's really what helped me get through a lot, depending on God and praying, and him constantly telling me that I was better than what I was allowing.
And so, can I ask a question? Where do you think your lowest point was? Because your lowest point can also be seen as a catalyst to give you your surge to move yourself forward.
I think it.
Did you know your lowest point? Did you recognize it? When did?
To me, I think it was the barking. I think it was for somebody to make you do that, for someone to look at you that small, for someone to I don't know,
to bring you down to that, you know.
Right.
Yeah, with some, you know, it's a funny.
It's hard to admit. So I would have to say it was that, because this is like the second time of me saying it out loud. Wow. Yeah. I think that was my lowest point.
And how did that feel? Where did it get you to a place where you go, no more? Did it empower you in?
No, not after that.
No.
Not after that. I would always leave, come back, leave, come back. But my breaking point got to where it was like I went to live with him and his mom, and he would, you know, cheat. He would go out, come back the next day, and be out, and then treat. And then when he would get back, and I would confront the situation, it was always flipped on me. It was always made. I was always made to feel like I was doing something wrong.
Yeah, you're the.
Or I was the one that was doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And so this particular time, his mom jumped in on his side, and she.
I
don't know. It was. I think it was her that opened my eyes. It was like at that moment, I kind of realized, this is a cycle for both of them. This is something that I just couldn't fight anymore. I realized it was out of my hands. It was something that was just like, it was nothing left in me that could change the situation. It was nothing that I could do to make it any better. And I was just fed up. I guess I got lucky, because in a lot of situations, people don't get fed up. They continue to deal with it until it's too late.
Yeah.
I remember running down the street, and he was throwing rocks at my head. And I was like, I think about it. I look back at it now, because I would never deal with it, something like that now. It's hard to believe that I was that person. But being in the moment,
yeah, you don't realize that, Jasmine. It's not just you. It's a lot of. I think a lot of us women go through that. Like I said, I've got friends. I can see from the outside because I'm standing away from your situation, so I can observe you and I can analyze you, and I think, what is she doing? But when I talk to my friend about this, she looks at me. She goes, "No, it's not like that." And really, it is like that, but she cannot see it for some reason. It's like she's blinded for some reason. It's when she comes out of the situation, then she starts thinking, "What was I doing?"
So
it's very hard to do. Yeah.
So you both can relate to that denial that maybe a woman puts herself in that position of denial.
Yeah.
Is that a denial of thinking that something's going to change, something's going to get better?
Yeah.
Is it a denial of feeling that
it's hope.
It's hope.
And
it's
more
hope.
so a lack of self-love.
Yeah.
I would have to say that, because gaining a self-love for myself and respect for myself is what's got me to the point where I am now, where I wouldn't allow it again. And even if I did, I would never stay with it that long.
Yeah.
I remember being the reason why I put up with so much, because I didn't love myself. I didn't care. I chose to give it all to him. I chose to put him first, and in loving him, I could take it. Or at least I thought so. I convinced myself that it was more important to make him better, and in a way, I enabled him. And
Did
made it okay.
He's the father of your child, yeah?
Yes, he's in prison right now.
Okay. So, did at some point a mother...
One of my children, I'm carrying number 4. I have 3 right now.
Oh.
So I will have 4 by the end of this year. Well, about 3 weeks.
Oh, excellent. And is this from a new relationship now that it's in a good place?
Yes.
Yeah?
No.
Oh.
The relationship that I was in like I said, it was okay in the beginning, but he also showed signs, and I walked away. So I know God has me. God has my children. He has always taken care of us. We've never been in a situation where we needed anything. So
Okay.
I don't have to deal with that anymore. If I'm ever in a situation and somebody feels that because I'm naturally submissive, I'm naturally I'm a very sweet, kind-hearted person, and a lot of men, if they have, you won't see it, but if they have those attributes, they will try to take advantage of it. And so I know now, in the beginning, just walk away. It's nothing that you can tame, nothing you can tame. There's no amount of love that you can give that will make that person respect you or treat you like you're worth. And so, yeah, I still run into. We'll still encounter situations like that, but it's up to you to know that you're better than that.
Yeah.
Don't have to.
So what's your plan for your future? We're going to go back to the story in a little bit, but I'm just going to move you ahead. What you've been through now, yeah? How does it affect you today? Or how does it affect you as a woman? Like, you got 3.5 children now, yeah? Right. And you've been through a lot of things, yeah? And a lot of women go through these things and they don't make it. So, as you now, how does it affect you? All these stuff, how did it affect you today? What you're going through? How does it affect you? Does it give you sleepless nights? Does it make you feel insecure? How does it make you feel?
I guess it's really just it's God that's been keeping me. Right now, I'm basically, I'm not working right now because I'm pregnant, but I'm starting to write a lot more. Since I was little, going through everything that I went through, I've always had a talent for writing. And so right now I'm working on a book. I'm working on some children's books. And I know that God has been speaking to me and telling me that that's where my wealth is. I have I have an ability to look at situations, and that's why it's really hard for me to talk about the past, because I've changed my perspective of it so much. And so I have an ability to look at everything and see the best in it, see the way that God used it for my better, and I'm a lot more forgiving. I'm not really a grudge-hearted person. It hasn't changed the light that's always been in me. I won't accept what I dealt with, but I don't hold any anger, any substantial anger towards anyone that's wronged me. And I think
have you forgiven them?
Yes. My mom, me and my real mom, we actually have a great relationship now. She's 4 years sober. She has a relationship with my kids. She a lot of what I went through helped me to forgive her. It helped put me in a place to understand that she's human. We all go through stuff. We all have things. None of us are better than the other. And the things that we go through, they make us who we are, and hurt people sometimes. If I carry the weight of the things that people have done to me, it only hurts me.
Most definitely.
It only makes me bitter. It only makes me a bad.
It affects your health, doesn't it?
Right.
You carry the burden so much and anger, and you're thinking, the hatred's building up, and it does take a toll on your health. And you being strong enough to forgive someone at such a young age, going through all that's a lesson for a lot of people. Jasmine, honestly, it is.
So
I think that's one people.
I know a lot that won't forgive.
So in a way, you're doing your
my
own.
children, I want to look at it in them. I want them to know that I don't want them to go through things and hold anything against people. I want them to know their worth and know their value and know what they will and won't accept. And I have some of the most lovable children. Anywhere I go, that's the biggest compliment I get. They're like, they're so full of love. And that's like the biggest thing with mine, because that's what I want for them, to love above all things. To love those who harm you, love those who who love you, love those who don't have it in them, because we have to be different. We can't expect the world to be better. We can't expect people to be better. We can't expect any change to happen if we aren't, the thing that we want.
Yeah.
And so
we have to be the example that we want to see in our lives.
Exactly. You have to set the example. Yeah.
And this sounds like your inner high self is helping you to take that journey of healing. But we don't have to accept, and no woman has to accept abuse. We do have to find a way that we can strengthen each other so that we can recognize it, so that we can rid it from, it has to stop.
yes, it is.
This is why it's so important that we talk and we have open conversations like that, because even within the 20th century, even now, women, please listen, wake up. We are trying to educate you. We're trying to talk about personal, real experience, like Jasmine speaking about. We've got Shanika on, we have lots of ladies on. I'm hoping that this will be something for us to listen to and learn from, because you know what? I know women, I keep saying this, I know women who are in this situation that won't come out.
So what are some of the... So you tell us, what are some of the signs that we should be looking for? What are some of the things that we can do? Where are some of the places? And I know that it's hard. I haven't been in that position. But I know that it's hard, that when you feel lesser than your full self, then you can become susceptible to predators of any kind. Yeah? And if we look at it that way, how can we arm ourselves as women, as young girls out there, to be able to, steer away from it?
Protect yourself, to protect themselves and also get out of the situation much quicker.
One of the things that kept me bound for a lot longer than I had, than it probably would have, is speaking about it. There were a lot of times I had friends, I had family, I was trying to hide a lot of what was going on. Sometimes you didn't know what was going on unless it ended up on my face. And a lot of what was said to me, had I have, reached out, and I'm not saying just because there are situations where people don't want to go to the police, or they don't want to go public about it because of the threats that they encounter behind closed doors. But if you have friends, if you have family, if you have any kind of support system or anyone who you can talk to, that, and you may not know but coming, talking about it helps you to be more aware of it. It helps you to face it. It helps people to keep you accountable, and it gives you another. When you're constantly hearing that you're nothing, and then you have somebody else, and they're counteracting what you're hearing on the other end, and they're able to tell you something different, that helps. It may not even seem like it. You may not want to hear it, but it definitely helps, and it'll definitely pull you out a lot more. Praying helps a lot.
I've got a question. I have a question, right? Last week we was talking to my sister there in the background. Is she still there?
Yes.
Right. Last week we was talking. We had a wonderful conversation. I was talking for long, and I can always talk to her. Yeah. She came up with a point where we was talking about generational curse. Yeah. Basically, what it is, we was talking about sometimes, as we said earlier on, the abuse can become the abuser. Or sometimes we go through situations, and if we're not careful, sometimes the same things repeat itself on our children, right? So what we was talking about is breaking that curse and doing something that makes a change, that makes sure that your children don't go through what you've been through. And a lot of stuff that I've been through, my children's been through them. And I didn't want that for them, but it just happened because I didn't focus on not making sure that it would never happen. I didn't focus on that. So, do you have some idea of what you're doing or what you're going to do to make sure your children do not go through this or understand the racism that you went through, so that they don't go through it?
One of the biggest things I would say is talking to them, being honest with them. We especially the new generation of kids that we have now. With some parents, they put them in a box. And they want them to stay a child, and that causes children to want to learn on their own. It causes them to want to, because they're going to still want to know. Their brains are mature, and they're going to still have questions, and they end up learning from the outside, and they just go from, what they've seen or what's already in them. And so communicating with them, I would say, would be one of the biggest things, letting them know. And change behavior. Change behavior is one of the biggest things, because them seeing me walk away and seeing me
made it clear and blessed.
Say that again?
I think Jasmine made it quite clear. She actually just said, I'm telling my children to love anyone and everyone around you. So she is breaking that curse, to be honest with you, because she's telling her kids, if people are being horrible to you, try your best not to respond to that. Try and be kind. So she's teaching her kids love.
Okay.
So she's not teaching them to fight and go out there and do what you have to do, just be a bully or she's not doing that. She's actually being very smart by actually teaching her children already.
Oh, that's good.
What the situation is, darling, you need to show love, you need to show care, you need to be nice to people, which is very hard to do, especially if you've been through so much. Yeah. So she's actually breaking the actual curse, hopefully.
But UNITYIFY, what it is that even if you show love, like I'm sure she was brought up with a lot of love. We was all brought up with a lot of love, but once we leave the home, or once the parents or the family structure is not there, that's when we face the jungle. You understand? That's when we're out there in the real world, and it's not the same thing. So you really have to focus on. As I said, I made the mistake. I grew up in a kind of semi, not abusive, but abused kind of. I've been through some things growing up, and I ended up realizing I did the same thing. What happened to me, I treated my children the same way, not realizing that's what I was playing out my own scenario on them. I didn't know this.
That's the difference between you and her.
Right, so this is why I'm saying this, so that
I don't think she's playing out.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying this so that we can always focus on making sure that our children don't make the same mistakes that we made.
Can I just say that I call myself an expressionist. Yeah. So I see myself as the example of trying to live my life expression, who I am. And raising my children, what I did was it wasn't as important for me to, they were educated, they went to school, but they had to have a relationship with themselves. Yeah, becoming their own best friend. I spent hours upon hours making sure that I spoke to them about how they felt about being themselves. You know, we have to grow self-love for ourselves first. And that's one way we could maybe break the cycle, because somehow we have to feed something that is within us. Because when we're confident from within, then we don't attract certain negative energy. And I believe that. And I know that maybe has been something that has helped me not to have so much negative experiences. I know my mother listened to me, and even though I was classed as the wild child, she gave me a space that allowed me to play out some of the things I needed to play out. It's like how we're going to cultivate something now that can look and feel different, that can start to heal ourselves whilst making a change so that something different can take place for the next generation. And I think what I hear is that you're two powerful women, and whatever your journeys have been, it hasn't held you down, it's made you rise. And it's how are we going to continue to rise? Because I can love you, but you do me something, I have got that other side of me that will take you out. Because it's, you know, I'm not going to allow anybody to step into my aura, into my space, and take advantage of who I am. Nobody has the right to do that to another. And I think that's what we've got to get, a really clear message of what that might look like when it's in action. What you will not stand for, how you will rise up, even though we know that the fear is the very thing that can just stop us dead in our tracks. But fear is just false evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. It's false evidence. It's a false sense of feeling that you can't. But we know that no matter what we're faced with, we can. And you have. So you are the example, because you have. If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah.
Fear, unfortunately, makes you stops you from doing so many things in life. That's why people have to conquer their fear to go forward. And like she said, you know, Jasmine, you are an example.
Thank you.
No.
When he was with your children, like I said, it's not just what you teach them, it's what you show them. Children repeat behavior way, like, it's more so than what we think. They pay attention to things that we don't think they pay attention to. Even from how you just respond to just about anybody. I find myself still struggling with some of the things that my parents did, and I have to stay on it. That's what it is. You have to stay on it. You have to become aware of everything that you're doing. And for example, one of the biggest things I want my daughter to know is to not be scared to come to me about anything. I want her to know that it's an open portal. I'm not gonna
judge us
to the point like where she thinks that she may say something that may offend me or that may hurt my feelings, and that I won't, because I'm the adult in the situation, and I know that she's a child. I know that she has feelings. I know that she's processing things a lot differently She's learning things a lot differently. She's picking up on things a lot differently, and so I try to look at it from a different aspect and accept everything that she has to say and teach her in ways that I wasn't taught.
This is where it goes funny.
One day recently, she came to me and she wanted to tell me something, and I was like, "What's wrong?"
Done this the last time.
You can talk to me about anything, and I remember in that moment being scared to talk to my parents about things because it was always just depicted, and it was always made to be something different or worse than what it was, and so I just wanted different for her. And it's like in those moments, and if you ask God, you be aware of the Spirit still speaks to you and let you know. You have to constantly catch person to you, make you aware of the things that you're not so much aware of that you repeat. Because we all make mistakes, and that stuff is in us, regardless. And so, I told her she could tell me. She told me what was wrong, and it did hurt my feelings a little bit, but I didn't show her that. I didn't want her to feel that she, what she said was that there was anything wrong with what she said, because I want her to know that she can talk to me.
Yeah.
That level, that open line of communication is there, no matter what she has to say. That we'll deal with it, and we did. And so,
Jasmine, are your parents involved right now? Are they part of your life? Do they contribute towards you and the children? I mean, are they totally involved with the children? Are they?
My birth mom, she calls my kids all the time. My real parents, I do have a relationship with them, but because I know that there are a lot of things that they're still dealing with, I'm selective with the amount of time that they get and the amount of access they have to my life. Yeah. Because they question my children before. They exalt a lot of toxic behavior that I have to protect them from now, because they're mine.
Yeah.
So I love them. I don't treat them any different, though. I don't keep them away from them. I don't hold, because I know they love them, and they, grandparents seem to treat grandchildren way better than they do their kids.
Yeah.
They don't get the same treatment, but my dad, he's still on drugs. So I do, if I'm around or we have a family event, I do allow him, some access to my kids, but it's limited. So yeah, that's about. I just have to watch it. That's all.
No, I agree with you.
So, what's your plans for your future? What's the plan for your with your children, of course? What's your plans?
Right. I'm in Atlanta now. I was in a really horrible environment, and so I had to get out of that for them and their sake. And like I said, I'm writing now. So my plans is to push my gifts as far as God allows them, and to watch them flourish. After I have this baby, I'm going to start back working and, doing everything that I can do, and just letting God do the rest. Because he hasn't let me down at all. He's been truly amazing.
So did you have a relationship with God before this happened, or this happened and led you to a relationship with God?
Okay, so I've always had a relationship with God from growing up. Different foster homes. It's always been, everybody sort of went to church. When I got adopted, my mother was a Jehovah's Witness. My father was a Baptist. So religion was really split in the household, and it was really confusing. And that's why I said God has always been with me, because it's like the little pieces of the word that I've always known have always stuck with me, and I've always been able to depict But that's not really God, or God wouldn't really operate like that. Or, I just had to, once I got older and I got out of that first relationship, I had to really develop a relationship with him myself and a prayer life. And just that's the biggest thing. Once you develop a relationship with God, He's gonna open the doors. He's gonna put you in situations where connect you with the right people and give you the knowledge that you need. And so I'm not really religious now, as far as like
you don't go
like
to church.
Structural.
Like you don't go to church
no.
and that.
I don't not go to church. I don't have a church home right now just yet, and I don't.
Okay.
I'm not as wrapped up in the going to church. It's more so getting in the Bible and learning for myself and talking to God and having a relationship for myself.
Yeah.
But
I think that's a very good point there, because I think going to a church, or I'm not saying you shouldn't go to a church or mosques or synagogues, but actually reading the book for yourself by yourself and connecting your soul quietly with your Creator in itself is a blessing for you and for the person that wants to connect to God.
Church and a community of like-minded people is important. Being encouraged, staying, having a covering, all of that is important. I'm just still, right now, currently looking for the right place.
Yes, I understand that. Slowly, yeah.
The right guidance.
Yeah.
But as far as, my personal relationship with God, that's going to always be constant. I can't put my trust in man so much to the point that is what guides me. But I do know the church is important. I do know that is, that's part of why I still, know who God is, and I've always known who God is because of going to church and making that a part of my lifestyle. Like I said, like-minded people, having that community of people who also depend on God, having that leadership, it is definitely important.
But it's also said that the first church is within. So you know that all that you've been through, something from within has always kept you strong. So the fact that you don't have somewhere to go right now, and a lot of us, because of the climate that we're living in, don't have anywhere to go, you can trust that the link is not broken, because something within is going to keep you going. So
exactly.
yeah. And what I just wanted to go back, how do you deal with your children in relation to, I know I heard you said that you keep them away, you don't overexpose them to situations, but what do you speak to them about your father? How do you deal with that? Do you give them reality, or do you try to make it look like or sound like or feel like everything's okay?
Obviously, depending on their ages.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, my oldest is 8. Behind her is my son, who's 6, and then my youngest daughter is 4. We haven't crossed that particular bridge yet.
Excellent.
Right now, like I said, I'm just watching. I keep trying to keep them as shielded. Not trying to keep them as shielded as possible until that time comes. But when they start asking those questions, I am prepared.
Yeah.
To give them,
Yeah, because they're still quite young. They are, yeah. But like you said, they're taking in things. They see and know a lot more than we give them credit, They learn so quickly now. The generations of children. I mean, my grandchildren are so fast. I can't even keep up with them. But it is to look at ways that you can start opening up conversations about how we look after ourselves, how we build trust with each other, what a good relationship looks like. You know, if somebody, you know, even at school, from a child to a child, if someone is constantly hitting you or making you feel something inside, then you need to speak about it. You need to come home, you need to say to mum, you know, when such and such says to me, I don't like you, it makes me feel like. Because somewhere in there, that's where it begins, isn't it? For all of us. Nobody likes anyone saying something nasty to them. We all want to be told nice things. But it's how we deal with things when they're not what we want to hear.
Jasmine, I was going to ask you, how many brothers and sisters are you? Siblings, your siblings.
I have, well, me and my sister, she is, I want to say 32 right now. We have the same mother and father. We have a younger sister. She's 21. She's all white. My dad has a couple of children that are, I think, like 3 or 4 that are grown. But me and my sister, we're the only two.
Yeah, I was going to actually go back to your sister because she did tell me she was molested as well, wasn't she?
Yes.
Are you both in touch with each other? How is she coping? Are you both like...
Yes, we talk a lot. I recently went and I lived with her for about 2 years when I had my youngest daughter. What happened was my mom was going to go to jail. My sister was in a position to keep her out of jail by putting her in a rehab program. And so I saw the opportunity to, you know, go down and reconnect with her, try to get some restoration, try to build a relationship, and, you know, also be around my sister because we were split up when we went into the foster care program, and she was, you know, she was older than me. It was a lot easier to place me than it was her, and so they put her straight into the group home system. They put me into the foster care system, and we kind of got separated. So going down there, I took that time to, you know, reconnect with them, and I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about them. I learned a lot about my mom. I learned a lot about my mom's things about me that I didn't even know, you know, where I got it from until I got around my mom, and I was like, wow. I ain't been none in my life, but we are so much alike. And so she's doing really well. She graduated with both her bachelor's and her master's. My sister, and she works in a group home right now, which was really a dream of both of ours. I know I'm eventually gonna get up there with her, and I want to open one. So
you will.
Yeah.
I want to open one and help some young girls that's going through, you know, I want to speak to a lot of the parents that are adopting kids and let them know how serious it is. Because there are some parents that adopt kids that just want to check. There are some parents that adopt kids and they don't understand the things that they carry, the things that those children also carry. It's easier when you get like babies because you can raise them up, but if you get older kids that have already been through so much, you have to be delicate. You have to be ready for that situation, because if you're not, you will mishandle those children. And that's really where I want to, you know, go in the future, is to be able to be in a position where I can speak to, you know, those people counsel those people maybe. It's coming. It isn't all
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
bullshit. I have passions in those areas.
Cool. So that means what you're saying. What you're saying is your time in foster care wasn't very pleasant then, or was it okay?
I've had some really. I went through 6 foster homes before I got adopted, and when I think the household that I got adopted in, there's good and bad. But there was a lot of trauma that has I still carry to this day, that I still struggle with and I still have to deal with, and I more so because I'm a parent and I'm constantly comparing myself and I'm constantly trying to be better than what I got, but yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be struggling. Like how you're an adult now, like how you've been through the thing, you shouldn't really be struggling anymore, because you got God within you. You understand? And once you communicate with the Most High within yourself, as the scripture will say, cast your burdens unto the Most High. When things get too heavy, you talk to the God within you or the divinity within you, and give it to the divinity within you. That's what I tell people. You know what I mean? Don't keep on carrying it. You know what I mean? Let it go. Let it go. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like forgiving. Somebody does you something really wrong, and you're carrying that for a long time. But then when you buck upon God and you start realize that the Most High is love, then you forgive them. So if we can't use that same process with the bad baggage that we're carrying, and also let that go and give that to God too. Say, I'm no longer carrying that. I've been carrying that for most of my life. You know what, God? Take that. You understand? Take that.
Yeah.
If you are who you are, and if you say you are who you really are, then you're supposed to have the power to take this away. Cast your burdens unto me, all those who are heavy laden and burdened. That's what it says. So it's about time we must test the spirit and see if the spirit is true, if it's real, if it really means what it says. So ask God to take it. You don't have to carry it anymore. Some people choose to carry things and don't. You don't.
I just, I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
And I'm aware of how it still, affects me.
Yeah.
So I want to be a voice for those who aren't aware of it.
Would you be okay to describe one of the way that it affects you? Is there any way you'd like to share with us how it affects you? One main way that it affects you that you'd really like to overcome?
I would say the way I speak to my kids when I'm angry. Letting my kids know that I'm wrong, not that I'm wrong, but that I make mistakes too. I don't want them to think that I think I'm perfect and that that I do no wrongs, because they will eventually. Kids see your wrongs, just like you.
Yeah.
And we want to make them think we know everything, and that everything that we say is right, and do as I say, not as I do. But that's not right. When you're trying to teach children to grow up to be healthy adults, you have to let them know they have to be accountable. That you have to be accountable for your actions. And so if I get mad sometimes, I cuss. I try not to.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying earlier on. Sometimes the abused can become the abuser. That's what I meant by that.
Right.
Sometimes we take out our past on our children, but not realizing we're reacting it. And this is what I was trying to put to you before with that question. How we need to overcome this, because our children will go through the exact same thing that we went through. If we keep repeating the cycle, you understand, it's going to happen again and again and again, and we don't. And it stops with you. You're where it stops. You understand what I'm saying? And you said a lot of good things, that you talk to them and you make sure you have a relationship with them. And the thing about it is, sometimes when we beat our children, we push them away. You understand what I'm saying? There has to be another way of disciplining our children without beating them. You understand what I'm saying? Because if they got a problem and they come home with a problem, they might be frightened of this beating and won't share the problem. You understand? And this is where we got to kind of merge that gap and say, look, alright then, I beat you when you do something wrong, but I'm going to tell you something. If anything happens in your life, if you go through a thing, and even if a guy rapes you or anything, this is what I tell my daughter, even if a guy rapes you or anything, you can come and talk to me. I'm not going to get upset. If I get upset about it, I am not playing my role as a father. So I will give you that space, but if you're outside of that, I will still discipline you. But I'm making you know that if you have a problem, if you go out there and you get pregnant not unwillingly, and whatever the case may be, I'm not going to shout at you over that. But you have to understand there's always a room here where you can talk and you can always come to me. So I realised the beating is what pushed them away. You understand?
Yeah.
Because now you've putting trauma into them, and then eventually, as you said before, you're going to start playing out the trauma that you went through, and now they're going to do the same thing that you did. That's why with your sister that we talked to last week, we said, block the curse, and it stops with you. It has to. Or else your grandchildren's going to do the same thing. And this is what we don't want. So this is why I say, with you, it's all in your hands. And it's all in God's hands, where that it has to stop with you. Your children are not going to go into care. Your children are not going to be abused. They're not.
Yeah, I've taken the stance to and I get a lot of criticism about it. I don't really whoop them.
Yeah.
because of what I went through.
Yeah.
I've had to every now and then, but they can probably count on their hands.
Yeah.
The amount of work that they've gotten. I don't think I don't think it's as necessary. I think being more what's the word I'm looking for? Repetitive in the things that staying on top of. There is a word that's on the tip of my tongue. I cannot think of it.
Pass.
It's frustrating. Basically just staying on top of what they do when they do it. Letting them know, then not letting stuff get so bad to the point where you feel you have to do that.
So you're always on alert, basically. You're always watching what they're going to do. So you're always trying to foresee what your child's going to do. Because obviously you're the adult there, aren't you? And you can probably understand, right? I think he's going to do. You know your children. You know your kids, okay?
Right. Consistency. That's the word I was looking for. Being more consistent. With holding them accountable and staying on top of what they do wrong, as opposed to letting it get so bad to where you then have to come in. You have to do so much to discipline them, especially with them being so young. If you stay on top of your kids when they're younger, it's a lot easier to discipline them as they get older.
And that's true, yeah, definitely. And a good measure, is like, and it can be a measure that hurts as well when you ask them, how do you think you get on with mummy? You know, always checking in how they feel about you being their mother, you know. That's one that helps us to see ourselves for how we are really behaving.
Even ask them, what do you do that they don't like?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's something that you need to know from your children. So what do I do that you don't like? And write it down or tell me, so that I know that I'm not supposed to do that. And then you've automatically built a safety net that they can turn around and say, Mommy, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And then you will check yourself. You understand? So
we have those talks and their answers surprise me.
Yeah. So
excellent.
Just keep that talk going. Keep it up like that, and you won't have no problem with them. Always communicate with them. I didn't do that with my children, and I can have these talks because I made a lot of mistakes with my children. A lot. They don't even talk to me now. But you understand, but it's just that. They don't talk to me, and I just separate myself because I said to myself, all right, I did what I did, they did what they did, whatever the case may be, but I'm not being selfish, but I just feel like I have God's work to do. And you know what I mean? So I just do what I got to do. And although they say you have to love your children and you have to love your family, I love them, but I've still got to do the work that I have to do. And if it takes for me to push them to the side so that I can survive mentally, then I will have to do that. But you're not in that situation like what I'm in. But sometimes I have to push them aside for my safety so that I can continue doing what I have to do. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm just sharing that with you. You know what I mean? But you have to keep talking to them.
Older?
Go on.
How old?
I said, are they older?
Who's older? What?
How old are your children?
Older, my children. My children are old. They're like, I got grandchildren now. I got grandchildren, but
at a certain point, you have to take your hands off of them. You have to give them to God because we getting the point. Well, I know my parents, and I've seen other parents when they get older and their children get grown. We still like it gets harder. Then they say when they're young, they're on your heart. When they're old, they're on your mind. And we still want to kind of control the things that they go through, but you have to listen. I mean, you have to understand, because the same way God is head of your life, He's head of theirs. Yeah. And when they get to a certain age, you got to give them to Him. Trust that He has them and that He has all things under control, and that will it'll make you feel a lot better, a lot freer. With the amount of the amount of control you have in their lives, because when you do the best that you can, and that's all you can ask from a parent, is to do the best that you can, put everything in you that's good in them, and know that they're gonna come back to it. Because we all got to learn on our own. My kids, I can try to raise them the best way I can, but when they get older, they are gonna make mistakes. They are gonna fall. They are gonna come into these situations that I am gonna lose my mind, and I'm not gonna know what to do. But we gotta trust God at that point.
And this is like our environment, our external environment creates the different madnesses of our world. It's not that we create them so much, it's what they get exposed to. When I was growing up, my parents are really strict, so they there were certain things they didn't want me to do, but the environment was exciting, and it's always been that way. So we seek after what we can't have. We just need to kind of create a little so that there's not a bridge, but we've got to bridge the gap so that our children can see that even though I might be doing something that you might not like, I still need to be able to come and speak to you about it, that's the thing that maybe, we're all exploring it, it swings and roundabouts, but they say if you put the first 7 years in with your children, then you can they'll go off rail, but then they'll come back. So, it's work in progress, isn't it? And from we've got the love, eventually, doesn't matter how apart we grow, once there's the love there, they will come back and say, well, I hear you, and you can say, I hear you also, But what I just wanted to kind of come forward to, you was talking about identity and colour and race, where is that now for you in terms of your children? What are you giving to them as their identity, so that they can feel strong about who they are?
Like I said, I identify as black. They know my mom's white, and sometimes they ask me questions. My son, he's probably the lightest of my kids, and he had a recent incident with some kids, and they were telling him that he was too light. He needed to go outside and get some sun. And so he was like, Mom, I'm white. And I was like, no, you're not. And I had to, that then, because it hadn't come up until then. I've always thought and known that they've known that they were black. I didn't even think that issue would come up, but it just did last week. And I had to have, I had to have that conversation with him, and I had to educate him on his race and who he is as a black man, and some of the stuff that's going on. And he, it went pretty well. I'm gonna see in the coming up to the next couple of weeks and the rest of this year and probably next year how it we're gonna start having more talks about it, because now I know that it's a possibility that he can get confused. But before then, I mean, it hasn't been an issue. I don't really wear, like I said, I don't wear that. My kids, they know their fathers are black. I'm black, and
so do you teach them? Do you let them know about Black history, like some of the scholars and in history, our whole Black history? Do you teach them? Do you give them the access to learn these things about their culture, about their African history? Because I had to do that. Right, I'm gonna tell you something. I have children with a white lady, yeah, and what I did, I made sure that I taught my children history of African descendants. I let them know from the beginning that you are a black man. Yeah, regardless what do not see. You might be having white friends, but I'm telling you now, you're a black man. Yeah, and you got to understand that. I sat down with them. I let them watch Roots, and I explained it to them. You understand? And then I didn't grow them up to be racist. I grew them up to let them know that you don't have no choice. Your mother's white, your father's black, but you don't have no choice. You are black. So you best learn about it.
What did your partner? Was your partner happy with that?
No. No.
And do you know why?
No, she wasn't, because she wanted him to be the other side. And I said no, because the reality is, in front of the Ku Klux Klan, you are who you are. In front of the National Front, you are who you are. So why am I going to let you be something that they will not accept you? You understand?
Exactly.
A minority will accept you, but the majority might not accept you.
Yeah.
And that not acceptance will make you be lost, and you won't know who you are. So I'm telling you, I said, I'm going to be real. I said, you're a nigger like the rest of we, brethren. Straight. There's no if or buts about it. That's what you are. And if you don't accept that, there is nothing else for you. And then I taught them and make them know about history and stuff like that. And you've got children by black women now.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I wish we lived in a fairy tale world where you could just choose to be what you want to be, but no, that's not the case. If you have a black parent, you are black, and that's the way that you will be treated. That's the way you will be identified, no matter what.
Yeah.
And you have to know that. You have to be educated on that.
Yeah, but they're like a problem. If they don't know their black history, they are lost, and that's what happens when they go out there and they're getting teased by other people. Oh, you're not black, or you're, and they got the history in their head to reel off to them. You might be telling me I'm not black, but I know my history, and I'll guarantee you the ones that are telling them that they're not dark enough, they don't know their history. That's the reality. They don't know their history because there's white in them as well. Because they're dark skinned like me, that doesn't mean there's no white in them. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know white people that their grandparents are black, but they just deny it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And there's a lot of white people, Europeans, especially rich aristocrats up there, the people up in there think they're running the world. Some of them parents and their great grandparents are black, right? Even some people in the clan, their great grandparents, some of them are black too. And I'm just being, that's how it is. But they don't want to deal with the reality that we are all spiritual beings.
And if we,
we are all spiritual beings. There's a thing called reincarnation. They could have been black in their past life. You understand? These little youths and these guys who are running down other races, they could have been white in their past life. So they need to know knowledge and history of yourself. And our motto is know thyself. Yeah? Know thyself. Once you have melanin, you're black. Yeah?
Yes.
Simple as that. There is no escaping it. If you're brown like a brown paper bag, you're black. African descendants. And even some people who are white, which I know them very well, their great-grandparents are black, come from Jamaica. But they feel ashamed because they're living in the middle class, upper class. So they're ashamed of their black past. But I guarantee you, check it out and you'll find out how much white people who don't like black people got black ancestors. And that hurts them so much that they're not that colour, they take it out on us. That's my
And that's true.
That's
because
it.
that's the internal turmoil that they're going through.
Yes. So they're going through it. But it's also, as I say, once your children know their history, once they know the Creator, they're halfway there. But the beating never help. And sometimes they do deserve a little beating at some point, but not for every little thing. You understand? And I've learnt by my mistakes.
Correction is always necessary. Discipline, point blank, period, is necessary. But there's a certain way to do it.
Well, even with the Bible, I show my children that this book what you got here, because since I said that everybody's focus point is on this Bible, I say, alright then, you're mixed and you got the Bible in your hand. Did you know that Bible is an African story? Did you know all the prophets in that book are black? And the book tells you in there that they're black. Jeremiah, King David, Solomon, Ezekiel, Isaiah, they're all black people. But it's in the book, but the church don't preach this. Now if the church was preaching what is in there, that all of these people are black, and even in Genesis, it starts in Genesis, it talks about Ethiopia. The first chapter of the Bible, the Garden of Eden compassed the rivers of Ethiopia. Automatically, Ethiopia is where black people come from. That Bible is a black man's book. There you are. So when a clan come and turn around and God this and God that and the Bible this and even want to hold up the Bible, that's a black man's book you're holding up. Because it's bare black people in there and it tells you in there that they're black. So it's just knowledge. The book's in your hand and you don't even know that it's your own book. By your own people that's been stolen.
And rewritten. So
and given European names. So I teach my children this book and say, this is your book. These people come from your country. You understand? So know your ancestors are African. Greatest
Jasmine, are you actually living in a very much a predominant black community?
Yes.
Yep.
I've always, well, since I've, I guess since like 5.
What's that? Say that again, please.
I attended a mixed school once. It was an experience.
You went to a mixed school? I went to a mixed school and there was racism.
Because growing up, we lived in a small country town, and there was like this one private school where all the white kids went, and then there was my school, which it was, predominantly black. And once I think I was I was in 12th grade. I had an incident with my dad. He punched me in the face, and I ran away from home. And so I went to live with the aunt of mine for like the first half of my school year. And it was my first time being around that many white people, and I was like, it was just, I don't know, it was an experience. But yeah, for the majority of my life, and like now, I go in stores, I interact with white people. It always just feels really, I don't know. There are some really good white people, but there are in the South there are some really messed up ones as well.
Well, these messed up ones, all these messed up ones like Elvis Presley. I know it's not for these racist man them. No, Elvis Presley. But Elvis Presley went to a black school. Elvis Presley moved with black people. Yeah, and you lot made him king of rock and roll. And but yet he was with black people. He grew up with Elvis Presley did not go to a white school. He moved around with black people.
I didn't know that.
Right? So automatically they can pick and choose who they want out of the brown skin and the light browns and the near whites. And they can refuse who they want. So they're just a set of hypocrites at the end of the day. As I said, the biggest man out there, Elvis Presley, all of his mentors are black. All of them. So where is racism? It's just a lie, brethren. Just people are in denial of what they really are. You understand? So that's what I would say to the Klansman. Big up Elvis Presley, my nigga. Yeah. So, simple. Do your history. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that, but I had to kind of put that in there. You know what I mean? Got quick carried away there.
History for me as well.
Right.
My nigga.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, for real. Chuck Berry, all of the man them who teach him. Look at the history. It's there in your face. All of the man them that teach him were black people. And then when he got good at it, then the white people took him. Because they knew he was good. Anyway, we haven't given out the phone number. What a shame. Again. Yeah.
Oh
no. Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh, Unity, you forgot to give out the phone number. All right, the number is, although it's a bit late, yeah, the number is 073. I'm going to give you time to get a pen. Right. The number you require, that microphone is really loud. I just see that, Sorry about that. It must have been so loud in your ears. Right. The number you require is 073 77 22 7505. I'll give it to you one more time. Number is 073 77 22 7505. Might be a bit late to call in, but with Unity got carried away and didn't remember to give out the number. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, we're seeing this now.
Somebody have to get the blame, innit? I can't get the blame. I'm the host of the show.
So what are the things that you do to really keep yourself upbeat and on top of everything that you have to deal with?
I
know you said you were doing the writing and your books, your creativity.
Yeah. Writing.
So what are you writing? What are you writing? What books?
Right now, I'm working on a children's book, and it's
That's gonna be good.
I'm really excited about it. It is it's about a little girl who doesn't believe in herself, and it's called "If I Could, I Would." What? I shouldn't put that out without having copyrighted. But it's about a little girl who doesn't believe in herself because she keeps trying stuff and she keeps failing. Every time she tries to do something, it doesn't turn out right, and then she has this hope and she keeps trying stuff, and so she's gonna eventually try something that's gonna lead her to run into either I think the school nurse or something, and she's gonna encounter somebody who tried a bunch of times until they got it right, and so eventually she's gonna learn that we fail, but we have to fail because we don't. That's the way we learn is through failing and getting back up, and I don't know. It's just cute. It's rhyming. I've always been really big on poetry, so I decided to go with the I guess the Dr. Seuss way. I wanted to make it catchy, make it memorable, and also put a really encouraging story. And that's what I want for all my children's books.
I was gonna say, Jasmine, that's a bit of a little girl in you there, isn't it?
Right. There is.
So what's the name of the book?
So,
No, can't tell us that.
Oh, no, don't tell us the name of the book. Not till it's released.
Yeah.
I already did by accident, but you know.
Yeah. When it's released, let us know. We can get a copy and put it up as well. You know what I mean?
I hope
So you do-
illustrated and published by the end of the year.
So you do poetry? Do you do poetry?
Yes.
So have you got anything you can share? A bit on the spot, sorry.
She's got loads of poems, loads of them. Reel them up.
Right.
We can wait, don't mind. We will wait for you. We don't mind. We can wait.
Oh, which one? Because
Diamonds in a row.
okay.
Hold on, I'm finna see if I can share something with y'all.
Okay.
One of my favorites.
Manager was back here posting the advertising on her page.
Yes, I. We don't mind. We advertise it for you.
Oh my God.
Go your profile and click search.
Man, from my
And she write good under pressure as well. She came up with stuff like last minute, the night before the event. And I never heard any poetry on that level. It'd be so deep. It'd be deep. Go back to your page. Sir.
So, ladies and
I
gentlemen,
think I brought
poetry time. We've got our wonderful guest who's going to be reading out a poem, what she wrote herself. Yes.
I can't find it. I can't.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking. I'm putting on the spot. Millions and millions of people gonna hear you read the poems.
No pressure.
No pressure. Take your time. No need to sweat.
Okay.
All right.
Y'all ready? I'm reading.
Hold on. Before you read it, hold on. Can you tell us why you wrote that poem? Why did you write this poem?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the church that I was attending, my pastor's first lady, she was having a program. It's called Diamond in the Rough, and I was asked to do a poem, based off the theme. And so I went home and it took me a couple days to get the idea for it, what I wanted to write, but I prayed about it, and God gave me the words to write, so I got to give him all the credit.
Excellent.
And so that's where it came from. But y'all let me know when y'all are ready.
Yeah, we're ready. What's it called?
It's called Diamond in the Rough.
All right, got you.
Okay. Woman of God, you are beautiful, strong, and of worth, full of virtue, purpose, and capable of birth. You are loving, nurturing, and eager to serve, intelligent, discerning, and graciously conserve. So, woman of God, stay vigilant, for the enemy knows what you possess. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy, nothing more, nothing less. He will disguise himself in men who will hurt you and tear you down, but as queens, we stay positioned and never lower our crowns. Woo! We are designed for our husbands. With prayer and patience, we gain a king. Lack of standards gain us baggage, among other things. But our Father who gives us grace picks us up when we fall, even after a third baby daddy and after we've kissed all the frauds. He says, woman of God, I knew who you were before you were born, and he can still use your testimony to save others who are torn. So do not let your faults drown you, for there is no condemnation for those in Christ. Just the promises of love, peace, and the gift of eternal life. Do not let bitterness consume you, for it is our job to walk in love. Welcome the many blows against you, for they do not know our God above. Contradict what they are used to, so they will see the God you serve. Allow his glory to be revealed, that your heart may keep preserved. You are a woman of great purpose, who God values and equips. A diamond in the rough, yet discovered but godly gripped.
Woo!
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Give her a peanut.
Excellent. Oh, wow.
Gem there, aren't you, Jasmine?
That is so powerful.
That is good.
Thank you.
That is better than my one. Almost.
You ain't got one.
I ain't got one.
You ain't got one yet.
No, I got loads of poems.
Oh, that is amazing.
I like that.
That was 4 years ago.
4
years ago.
Appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that poem, and I'm gonna take that poem, and I'm gonna put that poem up on the radio so people can hear it. I'm gonna put it in the playlist so people can hear it every week.
As we know, the time is coming near. For
That's what I can do for you because I like that.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
amazing.
I like that. So we're gonna.
I mean, there's nothing much greater than what you just said right now. I mean, I usually ask my guests to say something nice and positive before they leave, but that poem just actually covers everything.
It does,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah.
It encounters everything, yeah.
It does. It's a nice poem. Can you come back and read more poems to us?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like them. I like them.
Yes.
We like that. You're gonna be our
so much
poetry
for that.
team. We might even arrange a poetry show between you two ladies. Yeah. Because we really like what you're doing and we like to support what you both are doing, especially my little red heart friend. Yeah. 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 Then I like what you both are doing. We are starting up a new website, and hopefully when the new website's up and running, we'd like to give you both your own show.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's what we want to do for both of you, because not just because you've been through the trauma, but because you're strong.
Yes.
And I know that God is with you, and the only thing I can do is bless you with the blessing that God has given me. You understand? So I will give it to you as well. Not all of it, just a little piece of it. Yeah. Right.
A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah, just a little bit. So that means, hopefully by say where we are now. When you're ready, we will sort out a show for both of you.
Definitely.
Yeah, because you've come a long way, and I think you deserved it. And you've been praying to God to help you and to make a way for you, and you're here now. So I think I've got to make.
And it's about you lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about you guys. So
it's about you guys. You need to carry on.
right. So what we're going to do, I don't know why I'm saying it. I just feel it. My spirit's telling me, give them a show. Give them a show.
Come on.
You understand?
Come on, I'm gonna give you
So we're going to give you your own show. Both of you going to have your own show. We're going to organize it properly, and then that's it. And we want you to read your poem every week on your show. A poem every week.
Get right in.
Yes.
Right?
Come on.
Right, so that's
also
you.
including the red-haired girl next to you.
Yeah, both of you. Not
Yes.
so both of you are together. Where's my redhead friend? Say hi. I can't see her. I can't see her.
I'm finna get on camera. Look, I'm finna try to. Look. I was trying to keep it cute.
Nah, we want to see both
I'm trying to
of
be
you.
the director, cameraman, director.
Yeah, we want to see
everything.
both of you. Where is she?
Oh
my.
This
I'm right here.
She on the day she is.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm good.
Right, thank you for bringing Jasmine on. It's really been nice talking to her, and that poem, seal it up for me. So eventually, I'm gonna let both of you who work together have your own show, right? So right, because we're gonna be. It's gonna be obviously it's gonna be via internet, but I want a poem to be read every show that you do. Yeah. And it's that means you that's good.
The shit on the radio, isn't it, bless?
Yeah, she's gonna have to do that. So eventually you'll have a poetry book by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So we got guys that will help you. So keep on doing what you're doing. Thank you very much for coming on. Right. And thank you, my redhead friend, for bringing her. Yeah. Because I know. And thank you for bringing her as well. And both of you are going to be working very good together. And do what you got to do, right? So it's just a matter of time, but it will be definitely before the year's out, which is only 2 months, to prepare yourself, and they will organise a show for you. Okay?
We ready.
You ready? Okay, you ready? You deserve it. No, you deserve it. You really deserved it because you both told me your life story, and you've brought somebody else to the table, and it's not easy to talk about your past, especially when it deals with abuse. So the only thing I could do is just give you a blessing that God has blessed me with, and bless you
Thank you.
with a show that
Thank
you
you
can do
for
your own
sticking
thing.
together as well, Jasmine.
Yeah, you can both do it together. You can do whatever you want. Just let us know what you want to do, and I will put it together for you.
And if it can serve as if it can
Oh
serve as a platform to empowering women, then this is the way that we've got to go. It's not even.
Yes.
It's like the work that needs to be done. Somebody has to do the work, and we're all being held to account now to bring about the change that we want to see in our world.
Yeah.
So it's time. It's time. Let us rid the earth of all that is not needed, so that we can rejoice in all that we have, you know, because really to live life is a blessing. It's a gift that is given to us. The reason why a lot of people find themselves cursing life is because they're not working hard enough to get rid of what is not needed on this plane. And we know that we're being challenged. This is 2020, the year of clear vision. All what was in the dark will come out to light. So now it's really calling for the real people to stand up. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a good day. It's a good day.
It's a good day. So, ladies,
Time to shine.
I will leave you to have a nice sleep tonight, and I know you're going to be sleeping in the clouds. You know what I mean? And it's time for you to now sort out yourselves, get yourself lined up to do these kind of shows for other people in your community. I know you're going to be introducing more people to us, but because you're doing that, I might as well just give you the platform. And I tell you, I'll leave you with this: the stone that the builder refused shall be the head cornerstone. And that's what you two are.
Head cornerstone.
The stone that the builder refuses shall be the head cornerstone. And now you are here.
Thank you
The
so
head
much.
cornerstone. All right? So God bless you both.
So is there any closing words that you want
Thank
to...
you, Jasmine Williams.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thank you, girls.
All right.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
You
Thank
too.
you, family.
Darling.
All right. And you take care, both of you. And keep your hair nice and red. Yeah, nice and bright. And you, Jasmine, I like the highlighting as well. Yeah, nice and bright, man. Just be careful when you're crossing the road, because people might think it's a red light and stop. But you look nice. You look lovely, though. I like it.
Yes, I love it.
It's just being yourself, saying that I don't care what people say. And plus, as I said last week, it reflects the new heart within, the clean heart.
Right.
That's how I see it. You know what I mean? And that's me. So, UNITYIFY, thank you very much. Thank you all those wonderful callers that called in at the last minute. UNITYIFY. All those lovely callers that called in at the last minute when we gave out the number too late. But it's all right.
No, I think we had it all to ourselves today.
Okay. Right. And thank you very
so much for coming on to Blessed Radio with UNITYIFY. Shanika and Jasmine Williams, thank you so much. Stay blessed.
Thank you, Shanika, and thank you, Jasmine. And UNITYIFY will let you know when the time is right, and when you're getting ready to prepare for your show, you let her know as well.
Excellent.
All right.
Well, I will be right,
darlings.
Don't worry, man.
Yes.
See, you know what I
Don't
mean.
worry. Be happy.
Everything is good. God knows what He's
I'll
doing.
talk to you later, darlings. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on.
All right.
You're welcome. Y'all have a good one.
All right. You too. Bye, sisters.
Bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. UNITYIFY. She looks
Yes, bless.
Wagwan, baby.
That was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, that poem kind of made me... It's the poem, really. When she read the poem, I said to myself, nah, I got to give her a show,
Beautiful.
man. Them poems
You
there...
have to, because blessed, what we're doing, like this, like my sister said over there, it's time. We need to give we've done the work we've done, okay, but the work has to be done properly now. It's for these youngsters out there. They need to come on board and go forward with the work and hard work that's been put into place and carry it forward. Otherwise, we're going to end up losing a lot of things.
Yeah. Well,
it's important.
we got the link. She's all right. As I said, they're both all right. You know what I mean? We will give them them all right. But as I said, it takes time to grow. So first of all, we got to get the edge off of them.
And isn't it so nice, blessed, that they're both together as well? How they support one another.
Well, we'll see how it go. We'll see how it go.
Yeah.
We'll see how it go. But I don't mind them doing their show. I don't mind putting it up on our website.
Yes.
And I think that will be a nice stepping stone for them. But obviously,
it is going to be, yes.
What's the redhead one name again?
Thank you. One's Shanika and Jasmine. And thank you so much for that, bless.
Thank you for what?
For giving them the chance, of course.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be given. You need to be. Hey, come on, bless.
Yeah, that should
You yourself are a blessing
Yeah,
guys for so many years.
Right. Well, tight Shaniqua. I know exactly what I got planned for them
You need to
anyway.
take some credit as well.
Am I going to give them credit? Did you say am I going to give them credit?
Give you credit? No, we're giving you credit.
I'm not giving. Am I going to give them credit? It's free, brethren. What's that, mate?
I said we are giving you credit.
Oh, credit. I thought you like T-Mobile credit. Like you said credit, innit?
Sista, take him away.
You said credit. That's what you said. And credit goes on a phone. Right? That's what I know. Right? Alright, so don't get it twisted. Right, so that's it.
Oh my God, you need to go to sleep, mate.
Yeah, we're gonna do that, but we've got a little thing doing here. We've got Sister Itricia in the studio. You know what I mean? And she's gonna be working.
Thank you for coming on, sister.
Yeah, she's gonna be doing a little work as well. You'll be talking to her from time to time on the UNITYIFY platform. Actually, I might make you interview her on your UNITYIFY platform.
I'd love to.
Right. She does yoga.
Tai Chi and meditation.
Tai Chi, come forward. Yeah, like that. You know what I mean? She does all of that martial arts and thing. Chop up man, beat man for breakfast. Yeah, start saying. So if the ladies abused want to learn some martial arts, we have the trainer here. That will make sure if your man put his hand on you, you're taking it home. You know what I mean? Simple.
She'll tell us what points we can break.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm being serious, because at the end of the day, if a man knows a woman can defend herself, he will respect her. You understand? And and although the women might not have the muscle and the strength, but they have wisdom. You understand? So they can. This is why men hit women, because the women have wisdom. If the man had the wisdom, he would know that he can deal with her without using his hands. But because he can't deal with her without using his hands, that means he don't have no wisdom. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
What we got next week?
That's a surprise.
A surprise? Where's she come from?
Yeah. Surprise land.
Okay, Iceland. Surprise land. Oh yeah, and we got this brother from India. When's that gonna be?
Yeah, that's gonna start on 1st of November.
It's not India, it's Pakistan, isn't it?
No, India. This one's from India.
Okay, I've got lioness in Pakistan. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Right, so
I've spoken to one gentleman in Pakistan as well, and we're working on that, me and him. So he's going to just actually break down what he actually wants to do and how he's going to go about doing it. Once that's cleared, then he'll talk to you as well.
Right, I'm thinking of actually talking to Lioness before she leaves Pakistan, because she's been setting up some stuff out there, and I think she should give us an update of what's going on. Yeah, so she's been over there for about 3 weeks now, and we need to get hold of her before she gets back. So I leave. She's
leaving on the 1st, so we need to get hold of before.
Right,
the 1st.
so we can get hold of her before that day and do the last show with her before she leaves Pakistan, so we can get the update of the isms and schisms. All right.
Yeah, we can get what's the pandemic over there.
Okay, my dear. All right, then. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And,
thank you.
Next week we're going to be talking to somebody else. Maybe our Red Heart friend will bring somebody else in. I know she's going to bring somebody else in, but we have to do that.
Okay.
You understand?
All right.
All right, then you take care, and a big shout goes out to all the ladies that's been through some form of abuse. whether from childhood abuse or mental abuse or man abuse. You know what I mean? May the Most High bless you and keep you safe. And all these things will come to an end. You know what I mean? Focus on what you want in life. The scriptures say without a vision, our people perish. So when they're getting abused, sometimes it takes away their vision of their dreams and their future. So don't let that take away your dream. Don't let it take away your vision. You know what I mean? You're a lot stronger than the man who is abusing you. That's why he's abusing you, because he's weak. You understand? And the man them need to know too that your sisters could be out there getting abused as well. So while you're listening to these shows and listening to these ladies, always bear in mind one of these ladies could be your sister. Is your sister getting abused? Do you know if your sister's getting her ass kicked every weekend? Do you know? Have you checked up on her? Have you been round there to find out? It could be your daughter. Do you know? This is what this show's about. You understand? So that we can start getting in touch with our family, our daughters, and make sure that they're safe. Yeah, because times are changing and we all need each other. Alright, so stay blessed on that, yeah?
Thank you for joining. Thank you to the listeners listening to Blessed Radio with UNITYIFY, and see you next week.
Okay, and your word of the day? No. Her word of the day is no. Right? Don't know what that means, but that's UNITYIFY's word of the day. She says no.
No more.
No, she said no.
That's it, Bless. That's it.
Yeah, that's
Next
yeah. So my word of the day is be good, and if you can't be good, you have a problem. Simple. I'm not going to tell you to be careful. I'm saying to be careful. Alright, no, UNITYIFY next week, yeah?
Take care, Bless.
Alright. Oh, cool. Play our music now. Or in English, I'm going to play a song. Alright, cool.
No boy can't try trim me dreadlocks. Bring the woman come because me give it to them hot, and no girl can't say me put me head under fry. When me hit the street me always roll strap. And in the year no find you proud to be black. All them a flip up and a stick up and a chat. No boy can't make me run out of Tamara. We no further nobody. The world knows say Rasta a real mad somebody. Hey, we no further nobody. Disrespect, you know what? You know what? We no further nobody. The world don't know Rasta real mad somebody. Hey, we no further nobody. Disrespect, you know what? You know what? Them why them think them bad, call them gun, them lies. But only one man make the Rasta man fight. I still see I where roll thunder flash light. All the black men we white. Pop it off like cake, them get ice. You must think me use me mouth like Mike Tyson. Steal your feel and know nothing like bite. Rima, TG and jungle. We no further nobody. The world knows say Rasta a